Hello, everybody. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about conservatism. When you tell people that you're a conservative, they often ask, what is it that you're conserving? What do you want to conserve with your conservatism? For me, the answer is clear. My conservatism aims at conserving the nation state as a form of statehood that was invented in the 18th century, then put in practice in many places throughout the 19th century, and then became the dominant global form of statehood throughout the 20th and the beginning of the 21st century. Now, as I talked in one of the previous videos, the nation state form of governance is dying out. It's being substituted by a new state form that doesn't have an agreed upon name yet because it's so new. I refer to this new form of statehood as the neoliberal post-nation state. As this new state form, which is the neoliberal post-nation state, is coming into existence, we're seeing that many of the things that were part of the nation state model of governance are dying out. The middle class, the representative democracy, the welfare protections, all sorts of really good things, individual freedoms, civil rights, all of the good things that we associate with the nation state, they are losing all meaning and just fading away, just as the nation state model is also fading away out of existence. We are moving without maybe even realizing it or articulating it to ourselves in this way. We're moving into a very different form of statehood. And it is my strongly held opinion that this new form of statehood is vastly inferior to the nation state model. Nation state model is far from being a picture of perfection. As everything in life, it has a lot of defects, a lot of drawbacks. However, it is also a lot worse. It is also a lot better than the form of statehood that is being born right now. And I think we're feeling it. I think we're feeling it in a lot of popular discontent, in a lot of disappointment with democracy, in a lot of popular protests that are happening globally around the world. I believe that, as happened in history before now, we can all collectively look at the road we have taken towards the neoliberal post-nation state and say to ourselves, look, this isn't really working. Maybe we should not be going in that direction. Maybe we should stop and reassess and turn back towards some of the good things that we had in the recent past, such as the nation state model, and maybe try to recover that instead of plunging headlong into the neoliberal post-nation state with its extraordinary inequality, with its lack of value on human life, with its ruthlessness, anxiety, impoverishment, the collapse of the welfare state, the collapse of representative democracy. Maybe that is not the way. Maybe let's stop and reassess. And so that is my conservatism. Let's conserve something very, very real, something we all still remember, which is the nation state, and which is not yet dead. It can absolutely be recovered. It can absolutely be brought back. I was recently asked by somebody on my blog what gives me hope that the nation state can still be saved from demolition. And this is a good question. I can say that one of the things that give me hope for the potential recovery of the nation state is the worldwide reaction to what is happening in Ukraine. We're seeing today just an enormous outburst of solidarity of people, almost uniform, of people around the world with the Ukrainian cause. in its fight against the Russian invasion. And why are people identifying so strongly with Ukraine? I think that it is so clear. Again, probably people are not articulating it to themselves in that way. Probably it's just a feeling that they have. But it is clear at this point to everybody that in Ukraine we see the nation state fighting valiantly against the neoliberal post-nation state represented by Russia. And today, for example, I saw some images online of, I think, the Times Square in New York, where there are these big posters saying, "Be brave like Ukraine." And this kind of bravery, this kind of selflessness, this kind of sacrifice for the common good, this kind of togetherness, this kind of we the people that we're seeing in Ukraine today, that is only possible in a fully functioning, robust, strong nation state. Once the nation state goes away, this sort of we the people of one country, of one nation, it just goes away. The post-nation state is not capable of generating that feeling and actually does everything to ensure that that feeling never arises, that it never appears. The post-nation state atomizes and alienates. The nation state is the state of alienated, lonely, anxious, ultra-medicated individuals who believe in maximizing their own potential, but can never come together over a shared cause because that idea is completely alien to them. And, if we think about why wasn't there the same kind of an outpouring of support for Ukraine in 2014 when Russia invaded for the first time this century? And people might say, well, the destruction, the devastation of Ukraine was not as bad in 2014. Well, honestly, it was pretty bad, but people didn't hear about it. And there wasn't this massive, sense of solidarity with Ukraine because back then, Ukraine wasn't the strong, real, effective nation state that it is today. In 2014, Ukraine was a nation state in the process of being born. And so it was difficult for it to manifest itself to the world as a mature nation state because it wasn't one yet. It was a nation state, but not a mature one. And in the past 8 years, an enormous amount of work was done in Ukraine to make sure that there is a mature nation state, there is an actual togetherness, there is an actual we the people. And today, people turn on the news and they see this epic struggle of the statehood, the form of statehood that we'll grow up with, that is meaningful to us, fighting and fighting so successfully, achieving such amazing victories over this inhuman, senseless, angry machine of neoliberalism, of the post-nation state. And that inspires us. We feel it, that there is something here that is being defended that is relevant to all of us. And you know what? It is relevant to all of us. We all need, in my opinion, to find our own sense of togetherness, to find our own feeling of our nation, our democracy, our individual rights, and say, look, you know what? We have tried this post-nation state. We have sat for 2 years in a lockdown, experiencing all of the emotions that the post-nation state generates on a regular basis, the suspicion of everybody, this new normal, this need to pivot constantly and change constantly and adapt and be endlessly resilient while being completely alone. We have experienced that, and guess what? It's not that great. So maybe let's think about conserving some of the good stuff that we used to have. And if at some point we decide to move on to a different form of statehood, let's choose a different one, which is not a neoliberal post-state, because it's not that great. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Today's my birthday, by the way. And happy birthday to me, and have a wonderful day, everybody.